Yeah, and Kennedy, their language, which I'm still shocked by, that they keep using it about ICE agents, and they use phrases like, unlawful conduct, disgusting behavior. They say, all I want to do is help protect people, defend people. And right as you think they're talking about the recidivist sodomists, the recidivist homicidal maniacs, the child rapists, and even more, no. They're talking about protecting them from lawfully enforced federal agents. It is so backwards there, and it's that is fomenting to radicalize these people that we're seeing out there in 20-degree weather that are just waiting for an ICE agent to touch them, just waiting to provoke them.
Yes, and when we looked at some of the hysterical comments from the Congresswoman in the first part of the show, you realize when you're using polemics and descriptors like that, you've lost the argument. Like when you're saying that they're slave patrols and that they're white supremacists, and even JB Raskin going on MS Now and saying that ICE is actively maybe recruiting white supremacists. Like, they don't give any proof of that. They don't say they've talked to people who are white supremacists who took the job with ICE because, they want to be part of slave patrols. It becomes such an absurd argument. It has so little meaning that something that is predicated upon so little meaning can never have actual change. And that's why you're seeing Democrats like Ruben Gallego from Arizona, who's, a total lib, is saying, stop saying abolish ICE. We made the same mistake with defund the police. And what we're going to do is undermine our own argument and our own cause, and we're just going to get more of what we're opposing. So maybe there's a better way of saying, maybe we should streamline ICE. Maybe we should have ICE be more accountable. And I don't think sending in the National Guard is the best thing to do right now. So in the last 50 years, there's been one president who sent in the National Guard, who, did it under the pretext of the Insurrection Act, and that was George H.W. Bush. I was there. I was living in Hollywood during the 1992 riots, and it was scary as crap. It was terrifying to leave your house because you didn't know if any convenience store or grocery store or street corner was going to devolve into a violent, bloody, murderous riot, and people were losing their lives. We're not quite there in Minnesota, but if some of those hysterical people in Congress and in local government get their way, that's what they're pushing toward, and that is incredibly irresponsible. Now, as a fun historical side fact, Ulysses S. Grant actually invoked the Insurrection Act 6 times to send the National Guard to the South during Reconstruction to fight the Klan.
Talk about when the Republicans do it,
people
though.
like
Right.
Rashida Tlaib saying that ICE is the Klan. So my goodness, how times have changed.
Right, everything
And
got
even
twisted
in
around.
short term, Jesse, because I remember when President Obama sat in El Paso, Texas, praising National and Border Patrol and federal agents, condemning illegal immigrants for taxing the American population and the civic municipal system, our tax dollars and the like. So why, for that party that lionizes him, why can't they remember that he too actually appreciated for just a small second those brave men and women that try to enforce our national laws?
Because they're dealing with Trump, and whatever he does, they have to fight it. The reason they're in Minneapolis is because we caught the Somalis stealing $8 billion.
Right.
This isn't a revenge tour. We weren't even going into Minneapolis. It just popped up on the radar because they ripped us off.
Right.
So that's why we went in. And it wasn't just ICE. Treasury went in. Marshals went in. The FBI went in. And they went in to root out the fraud and root out these illegal aliens. And so they get there, and then they're violently repelled by the locals. Now, you're not allowed to do that. The federal government has jurisdiction over immigration law. That's what the Democrats always argue. So they're just executing the laws that Congress passed, and it's unacceptable for the locals to not protest. This isn't a protest. They're harassing them, impeding them, obstructing them, assaulting them. They're looting.
That was us in the hood.
Firebombs.
Ben would have got stopped.
So if this was an FBI agent, they'd never get away with it. If this was an IRS agent, imagine that the TSA was in Minneapolis and they were mad at the TSA for patting people down too much. And there was violent attacks on TSA agents, and they said, you have to get the TSA out of Minneapolis.
Yeah, they hitting the cops with
and then
broomsticks
beating
and
the hell out of them.
crazy.
That's not what you do. This is not the United States. They're acting like Somalia in Minneapolis, and they're trying to hold this country hostage with violence. And we're not going to play this game. Donald Trump should go in hard. He should go in heavy. By spreading out all of these ICE agents into different cities all at the same time, it's like thin soup. I would bring 5,000 ICE agents into one city at a time, cordon off whole blocks. You know where they live, you know where the neighborhoods are, and you go in heavy with backup. Because right now you have like a couple hundred guys dealing with protesters, dealing with